They played the game, our game. They play it with grace, speed, skill, and ferocity.
They're going to drop the gloves. Here we go.
They are student athletes balancing academic responsibility, practices, and games. They played the game they love in one of the top junior hockey leagues in North America, with an eye towards advancing to the next level one day. Join us this season.
Okay, use our speed, use our size. One thing that I didn't mention here, if we're cycling the puck in their zone, their wingers will be here.
As we take an in-depth look at the path these young men will take towards achieving their ultimate goal. These are the teams, these are the players, these are their stories, and this is the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Yes, Mike Tarantino and his Oakville Blades had a lot to smile about last week. We'll see why later on in the show. Welcome everyone, I'm Alex Bastiavansky. This is the OJ Today, and it's our very first show. Thanks for allowing us into your homes. Each week we'll be bringing you highlights, stories, interviews from the Ontario Junior Hockey League. So what is the OJHL? Well, it's the league of choice. Why is it the league of choice? Let's find out now as to what it is that makes the OJHL such a popular path for aspiring hockey players.
We are the largest junior hockey league in all of North America, making up of the 22 teams, and we encompass basically from Kingston as high as Aurora, and we go all the way into Buffalo. So our level of play at the junior A level is a level just below the Ontario Hockey League, which is major junior, and we're a level above junior B hockey.
Well, it's a great option. I think the OJHL is a great developmental league. Prepares you for the next level.
So we're allowed players from the ages 16 to 20. We have limitations to the Canadian development model through Hockey Canada, only allowing 2 16-year-olds per team. And under the Ontario Hockey Federation, which is our branch of Hockey Canada, they allow us to average up to 4. So we can't go more than 44 players, 16-year-olds, and each team can have up to 4 players. We go as high as 20-year-olds, and there's a limitation on 20-year-olds. We're only allowed 9 20-year-olds. And if you look at the 10 junior A leagues across the country, we are actually the youngest league. We have the least amount of 20-year-olds per team and the most amount of 16, 17-year-olds per team. So we're more of a younger league than most of the junior A leagues.
There's a huge mix of like rookie players and those veteran players, so it gives you a lot of everything. It really helps you prepare. It's really fast-paced hockey. Got a lot of great players, and especially for defensemen like me, it gives you a lot of tests. There's a lot of skilled forwards coming down on you, and really helps you prepare to make the next step.
So we consider ourselves the league of choice for a number of different reasons. We're the league of choice for players. So players can come in, and if they decide they want to go to the OHL, if they want to go to the NCAA, if they want to go CIS, or they want to turn pro, we've had players turn pro right of our league. That's their choice as a player, as an athlete, and as a family. What we want to do is we want to provide them the platform for them to be able to move on to that next level. You keep your eligibility when you stay here. You don't burn the eligibility for the NCAA if you play in the OHL and you're not quite ready. If it's your decision that you want to play in the Ontario Hockey League in Major Junior, play here for a year or two when you're ready and you can move on, or you can go to the NCAA or CIS.
Out of minor midget, I was drafted to the OHL by the Owensound Attack. I was kind of a late bloomer, and it made more sense for me to wait and come to the OJHL. And I think I've developed more than I would have, and now I've just recently committed to Dartmouth College, so it's worked out great for me, and I think it's the best way to go.
It's really important to the league that kids have good academics here, and a lot of our kids are going D1 and Ivy League schools. So when you come here, there's good kids. It's great academics, and it makes for a great league.
I was drafted to Barrie, obviously, and the Barrie Colts, and things didn't exactly work out there. I had a talk with my general manager. We chatted, and I let him know after things didn't really work out in camp with Barrie that I wanted to get a scholarship. Everything turned out well. I've got my commitment, everything worked out. So Yeah, no, it's a good league, and definitely there's a lot more exposure now.
So we usually get between 50 to 60 Division I scholarships a year, commitments for our players. Usually between 100 and 150 different commitments when you look at the CIS, NCAA D1, D3, and different pros and whatnot. Right now, currently, there's 6 different areas that the CJHL kind of measures of advancement of our players. And the OJHL leads in 5 of those 6, which includes the NHL, the AHL, CIS, CHL, and Major Junior Hockey. So we put a lot of players into the National Hockey League from our league. Players such as Brian Elliott, you have Mike Camilleri playing in there, you have Brian Smith playing in there. So a lot of players kind of have success at our level, move on to either the NCAA or Major Junior Hockey, and then move on to the National Hockey League to see the success. So we are stepping stone to the next level. Again, we want to have education and hockey together, but a lot of the players do move from our league onto the National Hockey League as well.
Play in the OJ and then have a plan. Decide what you want to do with your plan, okay? Either you want to go to school, okay, or if you want to play in the Ontario Hockey League, but this is a great league to use it as a stepping stone.
There's a lot of parity in our league. You got to compete on a daily basis or a nightly basis to be successful. And I think overall, you know, with the teams, the organizations, I think there's a lot of good coaches in our league. We really do push each other to be the best as they can be there.
And just before we go to break, this week's trivia question is who won the 2014-15 OJHL scoring title? The first person to send in the correct response to the email you see on screen there wins 2 tickets to the upcoming World Junior A Challenge taking place in Whitby and Cobourg in December. We're going to be talking a lot about this event in the upcoming weeks, and you can be there if you're the first with the correct answer. Welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, certainly one of the most famous teams in the OJHL are the St. Michael's Buzzers. The team dates all the way back to 1917. They've seen tremendous success over the years and last captured the league title in 2013. This year, however, the Buzzers got off to a bit of a slow start. Heading into their matchup with Milton last Sunday, we're sitting a distant 4th in the tough South Division. The Ice Sox have had it even worse so far, though, winning just 4 times in 16 games, and their woes continued against St. Mike's. OJHL highlights brought to you by Gong Show Gear Lifestyle Hockey Apparel. Gong Show Gear, official sponsor of the OJHL. St. Mike's makes the trip down the 401 to take on the Ice Sox, and this one was all Buzzers all the time. First period, Noah Jordan with the feed for AJ Durazio, and boom, 1-0 Buzzers at the 13:56 mark with much more to come from them. Not even 60 seconds later, scramble in front of the Milton net. Cameron Wright showing why patience is a virtue as he outwaits Jacob DiVincentis to stretch the St. Mike's advantage to 2-0. Second period of play. Milton didn't have much going for it on Sunday, but this was a beauty. Joseph Teofilo, 1-on-2, somehow finds daylight past Mark Manilescu. Gorgeous goal. And the Ice Sox cut the deficit in half to 2-1. A minute and a half later, though, Buzzers on the power play, moving the puck nicely. Dalton Barnes goes roof daddy past DiVincentis with the wrister. And once again, it's a 2-goal St. Mike's bulge up 3-1. And then at the 15:06 marker, Milton gets caught puck watching. Buzzers captain Thomas Barretta saunters in, nobody within a mile of him. St. Mike's fully in control, up by a 4-1 count as we head in to the third frame. The Buzzers barrage continues. Noah Jordan flies in, can't quite squeeze it past DiVincentis, but Durazio is right there to clean up the mess and make it 5-1. The Buzzers would add one more to complete the rout. 6-1 is how it ends up. St. Mike's dominance through and through. Beretta, Trumbla, Barnes, and Wright with singles, and Durazio picking up a deuce for the visitors. The much improved Burlington Cougars head north to take on red hot Orangeville, thanks to our good friends at JVI Sports for the footage. We pick up the action in the second. Burlington leading by 2. James Ranson cuts the lead in half off the feed from Zach Vukosa. And then it's the Flyers on the PP. James McLaughlin tees it up and absolutely tattoos it past Andrew Lee. Orangeville comes back from a 2-0 deficit, and it's all knotted up. 3 minutes later, They pull ahead. Lucas Smilski parks himself out front. Connor Stack finds him uncovered as B-Town gets caught puck watching, and the Flyers are rolling up 3-2. Still in the second frame, Ethan Wiseman glides in and puts a knuckler past Andrew Lee. Orangeville puts up 4 goals in a 9-minute span. Burlington would add 1 more in the third, but it wouldn't be enough. Orangeville, who the week before became the first team this year to beat Trenton, continue their strong play. Well, Kingston and Georgetown hooked up last Saturday in a titanic encounter from Alcott Arena. The Raiders led the West Division, and Kingston sat third in the insanely competitive East. This one went right down to the wire. The Voyageurs making the long trip west to take on the division-leading Raiders, scoreless in the first until the 1958 mark. Anthony Rinaldi turns on the Jets and leaves Matt Mercer in his wake. He goes 5-hole on Andrew Masters' short-handed goal. Kingston go up 1-0 on the Raiders' defensive breakdown. Ouch. Onto the second frame we go. Kingston pads its lead. Cole Beckstead plays a pass off the boards. Keep an eye on poor Wyatt Hicken out front right there as the shot deflects off his skate and in. Painful. Kingston go up by a deuce. Late in the period, though, Raiders on a 5-on-3 power play here. Great puck movement. Andrew Court to Daniel Hardy to Brendan Jacome. Tic-tac-toe. Clinical. Nicely done. And G-Town cuts the deficit to 2-1. Just before the buzzer, though, Andrew Court misses one he will be having nightmares about for some time. The gaping cage in front of him. All he could do was shake his head over that one. On to the third period of play we move. And the Raiders finally do pull even. It's Court to Hardy to Dickinson. Tic-tac-toe once again. And the Raiders come back from the 2-0 deficit. It looked like OT was in the cards, but then with just 13 seconds left, this happens.
Harris, Lorenzo tapping for the puck. Shot, shoots, scores! Lorenzo from the point, and a seeing eye wrist shot as
Elation for Kingston and not so much for Georgetown. Heartbreak. They claw all the way back only to lose in the dying seconds. The V's added an empty netter to make it 4-2 in a thrilling encounter from Alcott Arena. Defending OJ champion Toronto Patriots in Oakville to take on the Oakville Blades. Our thanks to Kojiko for the footage. The Blades draw first blood. Tyler Rollo from Patrick Kudla at the 4:22 mark. Pats tie it up 2 minutes later as the point shot is tipped in by Cole Prabhu, but then it's an absolute beauty by the Blades here. Ooh, yeah. Patrick Kudla to Peyton Reeves, who unloads 2-1 Oakville. That was nice. Then it's Orlo dropping it for Braden Simpson, who gets it past Sean O'Reilly. 3-1. Still in the first, Prabhu with his second for the Pats as he knocks home the rebound. A minute 45 later, Josh Kosak shows off his hand-eye coordination with a sweet little deflection. Second period, Eric Holland has it going off his skate. He'll take it, though, of course. 5-2 Blades. Toronto gets one back as Connor Beck squeezes it past Brendan McGlynn. But then off the scramble, Peyton Reeves notches his second from tight quarters. And in the third, super sniper Christian Rajic fires it home to make it 7-3. Then finally, Warad feeds Peyton, who picks up the Hattie. Great game for him. 8-3 Oakville, your final. Rollo, Sampson, Kosak, Holland, Rajic, and of course Reeves with 3 big goals in the blowout. Okay, before we go to break, let's take a look at the OJ's top scorers right now. And in first, it's a tie between Rajic and Jeffers with 27 points. In third, Kudla, a defenseman for Oakville. Very impressive, 26 points. Hardy in fourth. Dickinson, Brown, and Volpe all tied in fifth with 22 points. Welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, don't look now, but the North York Rangers have sprinted out of the gate this season and heading into their tilt with Newmarket last Sunday, topped the South Division with a couple of games in hand as well. They'd won 4 straight and were looking to keep the hot streak going against the Hurricanes. Newmarket sitting third in the North Division, currently 4 points behind second place Aurora. We pick up the action in the second period. Not too many highlights in this game. This is a dirty one, though. The puck takes a funny bounce out front. Kyle Clark jumps all over it for the game's first goal. It's a weird one, but the Rangers will take it. Up 1-0. North York was throwing the body around too. Jeremy Szabo lays the smackdown on Marty Lawler at the blue line. Nice hit by the Rangers captain. To the third frame we head. Newmarket pushing hard for the equalizer, 2-on-1, but Begeta comes up with the massive stop on Lawler to preserve the lead. Seconds later, off the draw, the Hurricanes with a good chance, but ring it off the iron and the puck stays out. That's as close as they got. North York looking like serious contenders early in the season as they tighten up defensively and blank the Hurricanes from Herb Carnegie. Okay, Wellington making the trip to Markham to take on the new kids on the block, the North Division leading Royals. And this one was a hard stopper back and forth. Late in the first, Marco Wazzaro jumps all over the juicy rebound to draw first blood. Markham up 1-0. On to the second period we move. The Wellington shot from the point gets deflected home by Brody Butt, and the Dukes even things up. It's 1-1. Royals power play. They set it up for Lucas Condata. He wires it home. Markham back in front, 2-1. A minute and a half later, Aaron Spivak doesn't take no for an answer as he follows up his original shot, puts home the rebound. Royals up by a deuce, but with 7 seconds left in the period, the Dukes strike back. Brody Miracle stays with the play, knocks home the second chance. Wellington pulls to within one, and they've got some momentum as they head into the dressing room before the third period, and they complete the comeback just 39 seconds into the frame. Luke Brown, side of the cage, knocks it home. It's 3-3, but with 3:06 left, the point shot is tipped home by Azaro for his second of the afternoon. Markham retakes the lead 4-3. Dying seconds, Wellington think they've tied it, but the official waves it off. Looks like he was calling goalie interference because the puck's obviously in. The Dukes don't like it. That's how it ends. 4-3 Markham is your final. The Royals continue to roll. They've won 8 of their last 10 and currently have a comfortable lead at the top of the North Division. Well, it's an exciting year for the Whitby Fury, who along with Coburg will be hosting the World Junior A Challenge this December. And despite a slow start to the season, the Fury had won 2 straight heading into action last weekend, but the Stouffville Spirit were another underachieving squad looking to make a move up the standings, and the two squads went toe-to-toe in a heated encounter. Stouffville was coming off a tight 3-2 win over Newmarket and was looking to keep the strong play up against Whitby. It was the Fury getting things started, though. Jonathan O'Hara throws it on goal. Luke Keenan gets his stick on it. 1-0 Whitby. Soon after, though, Whitby sloppy behind their own net. Christopher Brill-Huggins picks it up, feeds Nathan Hudgen, and just like that, it's a 1-1 hockey game as they head into the dressing room for the break. Second period, Whitby power play. O'Hara with the seeing eye point shot that finds the mesh, and the Fury go up by a 2-1 count. Then some rough stuff. Stouffville's Kyle Linney finds himself taking on not one, but 2 Fury players as both Austin Hewlett and Jeff Gauld start swinging away on him. Not the boys, and it resulted in a Spirit power play just 5 seconds into the man advantage. Max Novick gets it past Daniel Manella. We're all knotted up again. It's 2-2. On to the third period we go, just 43 seconds in. Manella makes the original stop here, but Brill Morgan tucks it home to give the Spirit their first lead of the contest. Whitby ties it on the PP as Riley McKinnon puts it in off the Ryan Taylor feed. Then it's a tough one for Whitby to swallow. Scott Curtin finds the net, but it's ruled it was off its moorings, so the goal is disallowed. And I mentioned it's a tough one for Whitby because moments later, Ryan De Silva, sweet move, sweet finish, puts Stouffville ahead to stay. What a turn of events for Whitby. Spirit would add one more, an empty nether to make it 5-3. Roberts, Novick, Brill Morgan, Hudgen, and De Silva scoring for Stouffville. Keenan, O'Hara, and McKinnon for Whitby. The Raiders head east to face the Pickering Panthers on October 16th. We pick up the action with Georgetown leading 2-0 in the first. Dave Cooksis threads it to Andrew Hughes, and the Panthers are on the board, down 2-1. No scoring in the second. On to the third we move then, and Jack Jacome shows off the soft mitts here, wiring the one-timer past Matthew Woroniak to make it a 2-goal Raiders bulge once again. Take another look at it as we slow it down for you here. This puck is top shelf before Woronia can even react. Great shot. Midway through the frame, Panthers man advantage. David cooks this with too much time and space. He smashes it past Billy Dade. It got the lead to 3-2, but that's as close as Pickering would get. The Raiders hang on to down the Cats. The Jacome brothers providing a couple of goals for G-Town, with McDonald adding another, while Cooksis and Hughes hit the score sheet for the home squad.
Thomas Latavo, right wing, Mississauga Chargers. What I bring to this team is a gritty game, a hard game, and a lot of scoring and a power forward kind of player. Being an assistant captain in such a great league is such an honor. Being able to captain such great players at this age is honestly a tremendous opportunity. Coach Joe is probably one of the most enthusiastic.
Just got to get lots of shots on him, do what we're doing, okay?
Crazy. Best coaches I've ever had. My teammates aren't only my teammates, they're also my best friends on and off the ice.
Welcome back. Well, the Toronto Junior Canadians are hot on the heels of North York for the top spot in the South Division, and really, that shouldn't shock anybody. The JCs were league semifinalists last season, feature elite offensive talent, and are set to make another run at the title this time around. The OJHL Team Reports is brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. The 2014-15 season was a tremendous one for the Toronto Junior Canadians. While they only entered the playoffs as a fourth seed in the Southwest, the squad made it all the way to the conference final. Along the way, they shocked the number 1 seed Georgetown Raiders in the second round with a 4-game sweep. Now, while it may have stunned some observers, the team wasn't surprised they made it as far as they did.
It was almost like the team came together after Christmas. I think right after Christmas we were probably one of the hottest teams the second half of the season. And then of course we got good goaltending. Okay, our defense played real well. Our forwards, everybody pitched in every single game.
We knew with the group we had that we could really make a push in the playoffs. So, you know, we weren't really caught off guard with the way we played in the playoffs. That was just you know, we all came together as a group, and you know, it worked out. I thought we could have gone farther, but that's the way the game goes sometimes.
This season, the Canadians have picked up right where they left off. Currently tied with North York for first in the South Division, the squad has a younger roster than last year.
You know, we have, I think, 9 rookies coming in, so it all comes down to the leadership. So if we come together as a leadership group and teach these guys, you know, this is how it's done in this league, they'll follow in our footsteps, and that's just kind of the goal that we shoot for.
The difference is probably up front. Last year we had a leadership and veterans that had the will, and then they knew the league. You know what I tell all the guys, even the young guys playing for us right now, we've got a lot of 98s playing this year. It's a tough league. It's pretty tough to go right from minor, midget, or midget and come into this league and pretend, you know, you're going to be a 35, 40 goal scorer.
While they may be younger, it's been a veteran who's led the charge. Team captain Justin Mayolino has been lights out and is among the OJHL's leading scorers. Despite being only 5'7", he plays the game like he's about a foot taller.
And on ice, he works harder than everyone else. He has his own way to play the game, and he makes sure he does that because he's a smaller guy, but he uses that to his advantage.
Andrew Pucci, Nicholas Jarzabek, and Anthony Trujillo have supplied timely offense as well. Jarzabek is in the same mold as Mayolino, short in stature, but huge on talent and heart.
You know, he's a great first-line guy. everyone looks up to him because not only is he just a small guy, but he has like a big heart to play the game. He battles all the time, and he can score like nobody else. So he's definitely one of our leaders.
Assistant captain Andrew Mullen has been a workhorse for the JCs on the back end. The 6'3", 210-pounder is a rock the team can depend on game in, game out.
Andrew Mullins is a big horse. I mean, the kid just, you know what, he could play 30 minutes a night. The way he shoots the puck is, like I tell guys, you know, he shoots the puck as hard as any pro. And the way he gets body positions on guys, and he's been a real bonus to our hockey team the last couple of years.
The Canadians feel there's no reason they can't go on another strong playoff push this year and just maybe go all the way this time.
You know, we do a lot of stuff together as a team on the ice, off the ice, so I see, you know, our chemistry is going to be big, especially when it comes down to big games. If we can gel together good, then I think we'll be fine.
Our leaders up front are real good, our back end's real good, our goaltending is real good, so I mean, we need everything to fall into place. If that happens, okay, same thing, if we get a couple breaks, you know what, I think we can go far this year too.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the OJHL standings, starting with the Northeast Conference in the North Division. Markham on top, Aurora 5 points behind in second place. To the east we go, Trenton looking fantastic so far. They just lost their first game of the season to Orangeville last week, but 14-1 thus far. South Division in the Southwest Conference, North York and the Junior Canadians tied with 21 points each. Oakville close behind, and in the West, Georgetown leading things with 22. Buffalo, Orangeville, and Burlington within striking distance. Okay, time for the top 5. The best plays from last week in the OJHL. Number 5, the Raiders play tic-tac-toe against Kingston. Court to Hardy to Brendan Jacome. Gorgeous passing by G-Town. Number 4, same game. The V's Anthony Rinaldi shorthanded turns on the Jets and burns the Raiders D with just 2 seconds left in the period on the way to a Kingston win. Number 3, Stouffville's Ryan De Silva against Whitby late in the third frame waltzes through the Fury D and pots the game winner in a tight 5-3 Spirit win. Number 2, not much went right for Milton against St. Mike's, but Joseph Teofilo 1-on-2 somehow finds daylight and roofs it. Sweet goal, just about the only bright spot for the Ice Hawks on that day, actually. Number 1, Oakville's Patrick Kudla carries, drops it for Peyton Reeves, and don't blink or you're going to miss it. Boom. Heavy shot. One of 3 for Reeves that day, and definitely our play of the week. And that is it for our very first episode of the OJ today. And you know, with 22 teams, there's obviously so much more to the league than we can feature in just 30 minutes of TV time. So head to the league website at OJHLPointStreakSites.com for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings. On Twitter at OJHLOfficial, and for Facebook at Facebook.com/OJHLOfficial. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. I will see you next week. We'll be right back.